Alright folks, welcome back. Jason34 here, back with another stream of Drain Sim. Stream 3, since we just, last week sometime, I believe, finished the forest level. And if you have any questions about that mission, do let me know in the comments below on if you want to know how I finished it. I can explain how I beat if you're curious about how I beat the flow of water off the mountain, I just kind of dug a trench where the water was flowing past that one rock that's higher up, where the water's kind of flowing past the rock and splitting. I dug a trench to the right, if you're looking down at the rock to the right, and kind of shoveled a trench right to where the water drain is. And then I just allowed the water to basically flow directly into that. I tried not to dig any other big holes or trenches because I knew that water was going to be a problem to remove. Anyways, let's see if we are online. Good, we are. Let's get started with our we are back at the garage, so it's time for us to choose our next mission.
Good morning. While most of you were home keeping your socks dry, Plunger Guy was uphill clearing that forest road and redirecting the runoff. Now the water has picked a new hangout. The convenience store parking lots are completely flooded. Not ankle deep, not knee deep, more like you're not standing in that. Normally this would be prime looting territory. Small problem. Nobody can even reach the entrance. Also, who left the store door open? Because right now the only customer walking in is the flood. Stay dry.
Don't worry, I'll fix it. I love these missions. Let's see. There we go. Alright. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure about the bucket, so we're not going to bring that. I might bring one light, maybe. I might as well bring all of it. Why not? I intend to replace the Pump Mark III because I bought that after the forest mission. I'm going to basically build an entire line of pumps, and to the point where I'm going to end up having a trailer. I'm assuming they'll eventually add that as a mission, probably. See, because that is what we're dealing with. The whole street is completely flooded, but that's not a problem. If I have somewhere I can pump the water, I can drain the water without even having to unclog all the water drains. The water drains are just going to make it a little easier for me to actively remove the water, because you basically have to remove all the water. But the vacuum is basically for end of day cleanup, like end of job, because the big pumps are what you would use to, your water pumps are what you would use to move large amounts of water across distance. That's why I literally built the single biggest. Okay, first let's grab our shovel first. We'll grab our generator, cable, both pumps. And I'm gonna also grab both of these water barrier things. Alright, let's go see what we're dealing with. First things first, we need to find out where we need to be draining the water to, for one. That's the biggest thing we need to figure out. Oh god, this water is dead. Holy crap, the store is completely flooded. Buried alive, actually. Alright, well, I'm not going to be doing anything over here, at least not for a little bit. I need to find out where I need to drain the water, so we need to find a water drain. Let's see. We need to start draining some of the water back down into the under areas. That's going to be our most important thing, is draining all the water, or as much of the water as possible, from these high areas. Let's just walk alongside the road and find all the drains on the side of the road, because this is where most of the water up here, on the higher area, is going to end up. That's what you need to do, is just literally walk alongside the road where the drains are normally going to be and find all the water drains you can. There's also one somewhere over here. It will probably take at least a short time for us to completely drain this area, so we're going to work on more or less water management, because I got sandbanks on all this, but we still got to at least try to manage most of the water flow by basically making the water flow into where we want it to flow, which is the drains. We need to drain all the water as best as we can. Basically, I just need to drain all the water from the upper area before I can even really move down there to the bottom. I can try, but I can't promise I'll be able to really... Yeah, I can't even work in the lower areas down there near the convenience store until I drain out most of the water up here. So I'll just work on patrolling the area, make sure the drains stay clear, so I can basically just keep them draining. Oh God. Oh, that's a big storm drain. I'll definitely need that. Let's go jump through the water. Plumber guy to the rescue. Don't worry, we'll save you. Dun, 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 dun. I need my shovel. Well, the water is draining, just not very fast. It's not draining nearly fast enough to drain this massive amount of water, so I need to go clear out the main storm drain here. Let's just slowly work on just kind of cleaning out the drain itself. Alright, looks like we got most of it drained, most of the water down here drained. Now we basically just gotta let that work, draining all this massive amount of water out of this area, so we can basically set up the pumping network to literally just start pulling all the water over here to this side. And when I say all the water from here, I mean all the water from down there, because it's a very, very deep area. See, the bigger pumps, the more powerful ones, they have a much stronger variant. Oh. Not good. Alright, let's move the generator like down here then. Since clearly the cable is not long enough to reach. Well, I mean, I also gotta work on pumping this. Now, this water will very slowly but surely drain from this area. Because I'm pulling water from all over here as well. I might actually end up having to go and grab this squidgy just to start draining, like, the large bulk of the water and kind of push it towards the thing. But then again, I don't even know if the squidgy would help in this scenario. Let's go do our drain, our drain check. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. This water is just, there's basically just so much of it that, yeah, it's not going to be easy to remove this large bulk. Only thing I can do is just slowly push it towards the thing and push the bulk of the water directly towards this thing. And kind of push and direct the large overflow of water that's still in the area into the street, so it can be kind of, because the water is basically puddling into the air in the street. So the best thing I can do is just kind of go all the way to the very back here and just kind of work on kind of pushing it towards the road, push the bulk of the water I can actually reach and actually maneuver towards the road or towards one of the water pumps and hope it'll actually work. I guess I gotta keep pushing it towards the road. Let's see. I'm just kind of gonna keep pushing waves of water towards the main area, and I'll probably end up having more pumps. Like I'll probably buy after this. I'll probably buy probably another generator, honestly, so I can operate even more pumps later on down the line. Because I have a feeling it'd be best for me to have even more. Well, you can see kind of how much water this thing actually has. There's a lot of water just kind of real chilling in this area. And this is just one area. There's so many areas, like, look, supply room, shopping area, but, I mean, the biggest thing right now is for me just to drain this area so I have somewhere to drain all the rest of the water. basically the best thing I can do is just kind of wait and work with the drains on the main road. Check on them every so often while I'm squidgying this area to kind of try to push the bulk. Alright, let's go check the bulk and check the drains. There's literally trash. Can I actually pick that up? Alright, first things first, next I actually need to switch this out, switch the squidgy out for my vacuum so I can go over here to this parking lot, over here that I'm working on, and actually start really... I'll just start pulling water in wherever I can. At least while I'm walking over. Maybe I can pull off at least some of the water. How did my squidgy get all the way over here? I don't remember dropping it. The rain's not going to let up. The only thing I can really do is kind of push towards just keep spraying water near the storm drain. Best thing I can do is literally just move the generators and pumps to an area that's pretty deep underwater so that I can actually start pumping a massive amount of water out. That is going to start to float. Like, it's actually going... Those pumps are very, very powerful. So it won't take no time at all for that area to drain. You can already see a massive difference in water drop. Like, water... Like, it's draining fast out of that area. All that I can do is just kind of use my vacuum to kind of try to help drain this area a little bit more. I could have technically left it in the low area. Oh, this street, I guess, is considered dry enough. But usually where you want to really put your pumps is like in these areas where the water is going to flow towards, like right here next to the sidewalk. You want to put your pump kind of right there where the water is flowing towards, because it's flowing from a higher area to a low area. So if you look around the environment, you'll find like really low areas where the water is actually like gathering in mass. Even though it doesn't seem like it, like this little area right here where the parking lot meets the road, that's an area where the water is meeting the road. So if I just stand here and slowly pull water in, the water will just flow very, I mean, honestly, it's not going to drain nearly as fast as with the other thing, because the water is draining in the parking lot there, probably. I don't need to shovel anymore. I just need to work on draining this road. The only way I really know how is by standing and walking along the edge of the road to drain the larger amount of water with my vacuum cleaner. And then go stand in the drain. Spray the water. Allow the water to slowly build back up. Mainly just low areas like this. Anything low that can technically be considered a lower area will be a good spot to like work on draining water. Like in these small corners here, because you can look at the water on the ground and you can see it slowly flowing towards this area to fill in that lower area where I'm working. And I just kind of back up, like walk backwards towards the road, and you can see the water slowly flowing back into the area, filling it back in. And then we spray the water down towards the drain, and then we... Oh, look. Roadside Lot 1. Is that this one? Ah, yes. This, I guess, is considered drained then. Right, I'm going to go and clear the drains real quick. I don't know actually how to remove this trash. I don't think they actually have a trash bag. Maybe that's what the bucket is for. Possibly. I don't actually know, honestly. Well, that's one thing that wasn't really ever explained in the, like, earlier mission, because there was no trash floating in the water. So I don't really know how, I don't know if I actually need the bucket to remove, like, trash. But yes, basically the water is going to slowly remove the water, and the water is going to slowly be drained from this area as well. It will take time, probably a long time. Alright, I need to adjust my game brightness here because it's getting dark. To we're gonna switch back to game mode on my TV so I can actually see. Because honestly, I can't tell if I even plugged this thing in. Yes, I did. Okay, good. No, I really just want to drain. I want to put the water into this thing, so I have something to keep the water from draining. That's going over here, back over here. I want to keep that from happening because I'm intending on draining a lot. My God, why is it getting so dark? Well, this roadside lot 2 is very bulky. Why is it always doing that? It's not sticking it out to the, like, out in front. It's like not exactly spraying properly or whatever. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. Whatever. Let's vacuum up all this water again, because clearly the water is still draining on the road, which is not exactly a problem, but still. I'm going to climb over the hole and pour it directly into the drain. Alright, I'm gonna move this, and I'm gonna put it like right next to this area, and we're just kind of throw this hose like on the other side of this thing. Well, clearly the water is going to keep draining towards that area, because I'm constantly vacuuming that area. And I'm assuming that's because all the water is draining towards one of the two sides of the road. And then again, it's not the rain isn't exactly slowing down. So I can't exactly stop it from constantly raining, so that's kind of the whole job, is kind of to slowly but surely drain the larger portion of water from the area. I'm gonna go and put it like right here. Alright, now power cable to the generator now. Alright, now let's go ahead and put this down here if at all possible. Alright, let's move this just slightly over here into this lower area here, because this is probably where the water is going to slowly drain into. Put that there. We need to go find our power cables down here in the water. Get this. There. The water is still fairly thick back here, so we're going to slowly drain this parking lot. The water will fully work its way back. Like, work its way out of the parking lot by flowing kind of more or less towards the lower area over here. Alright, so there we go. Alright, power cable. I don't know if I'll be able to reach this other one, but I'll try. Okay. Alright, now we need to go and put this one here. Start draining that as well. Let's go ahead and drain the water keep clearing the water drains so they'll keep working on the main road here. Alright. You can basically see that alone is going to take some time. If I really want to like work multitask, I could just kind of sit like right here and slowly pull the water out of this office parking lot here into my vacuum and then spray it into that other area where the water is draining from if I just want something to do for a few minutes while the main parking lot finishes draining. Anyways, we're not willing to work on this because clearly it's going to take a while, so we're just going to put all the water directly into the parking lot there, and we're going to keep pulling water from this area because, I mean, I don't really know where else to get the water from. Technically speaking, the water will go down with time. All things considered, yes. And the water in this area technically has gone down enough to actually hold more water. Oh. Pumps, bro. The power is on. Lights. I can see. I can see. Oh God. Looks like the roads I left is got more water in there now. Oh well. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna start draining water into the parking lot here, honestly. generator. Other power cable. Alright, now we're gonna let that drain. And we're gonna go do this other over here by hand. Now, I don't exactly know where all the water is gathering. I'd assume it's actually gathering like right in here, right where I had the old pump at. So we just need to kind of gather water that's gathering in this area, and then go jump over here and spray it into this area here. Because this is basically where all the water is gathering from the parking lot there. Because there's still a lot of water in that parking lot. So if I drain this, slowly but surely, the water will effectively drain. Probably. There we go. On and just kind of keep pulling the water out, just vacuum off all the residual water that's going to probably build up here very shortly, because you can still see it flowing out of the parking lot. There's still quite a good bit of standing water there. I mean, it's enough for it to actually be considered still drainable. Maybe not to the game, but there's still water draining. Alright, now let's run over here and check the progress of this other area. We'll probably want to turn this off, actually. Especially if we're going to keep draining water out of this area here. Let's just start pulling water from back here, because why not? We can help the pumps out up there by pulling water this way as well. Help it slowly drain the water out of the area. You can actually see all the water if you pay attention closely to the right side of the screen there. You can see the water slowly draining this way. I don't know how to do that, especially with the water. I'm literally just going to put it right there. And I'm just going to help drain the water from this area, from the further deeper areas down here, because I don't actually know where the water is going to come to rest at. That's the big thing. I don't actually know where the water is resting at, because I can't really tell the difference in the lower areas here, like wherever the lowest area is. I can only run around in circles basically with the vacuum cleaner on my back and then just keep draining water. We're gonna probably just work until we finish this job for this stream, and we'll probably do one job per stream. As far as the first 2 streams go, I was just kind of working in between the first 3 missions. 4 missions, actually, technically. You can see the water is actually being drained quite successfully, I might add. But even with only 2 water pumps, it's still going to take time, a long time, very long time to effectively drain it. I mean, yes, technically I could, like, trim out some of the unnecessary, like, if I'm just standing there waiting, I could probably just, like, say I'm going to trim this out or something and do just to happen. But I don't know. There's not that much standing water left in this area, so I'm going to keep working on slowly but surely draining this. Let's just work carefully and diligently. As we're done backing up the water over here, or it's clearing, at least clearing it out enough for it to be considered clear. Because with the rain constantly falling, the only thing I can do is really just keep vacuuming the water out, honestly. I feel like if you're in a hurricane zone, you really should have a pump system built into your building. It may not be that easy to build, or cheap to build like a small pumping system, like to pump the water directly from like your parking lot and your lower levels and stuff directly into the sewage. But I mean, let's face it, if you're in a controlled flood zone where it's literally going to flood every time it rains, I feel like that is something that's kind of important. I'm going to wait a little while longer. I'm going to keep working for cleaning up any kind of residual, like high-rise water that's risen a little higher than the rest, like back here mainly. There we go. Raise the water level up enough. Now this pump actually has enough water to slowly but surely be drained. And I'll probably move that pump over here as well. Roadside lot 2 looks like it's still got some standing water over here. I mean, I don't exactly know how to do this. The only thing I can do is literally run along this low area here, where the water is to naturally gather, and literally just keep gathering all the water naturally, because apparently there's a lot of water up there on that hill that's naturally flowing this way, and I can apparently go past the barriers to actually clear off all that natural residue there. We're just going to slowly drain this, because I'm probably literally going to move this probably across this road here in an attempt to stop the water from like gathering, I guess. Nah, maybe not. I don't think that would be worth it. That probably wouldn't be worth the trouble. I'll just have to probably come back and clean this spot here regularly. Alright, let's go over here and check and see how we're coming along. Alright, looks like we got a good bit of water cleared out. The water is still being pulled in at a good, fairly decent rate. So that means there's still enough water in here to be considered this area still got like having a lot of standing water. Alright, I guess I can't do that, so we're just gonna put that back there. Just slowly but surely let it drain. It looks like there's not really a natural zone here for over on this side for the water to drain, but I'm still going to vacuum over here and just kind of get into some of the more congested areas where the water's naturally resting, like along the edge of the building and stuff. Alright, let's go find my squidgy. It should be literally right down here. Somewhere. Ah, there it is. I found you. Found it. Alright, let's turn it back to the other thing since it's daytime again. Apparently the night cycle in this game doesn't last very long, but that's a good thing. We're slowly going to push the bulk of the water back. I mean, there's not really anything I can do aside from just push the water back here towards this thing. Just help it out back here and help it slowly gather the water from this area. Especially the water that's kind of in this back area. This here for a little bit. I'm gonna head down here. Okay, let's check the map. There's clearly a drain somewhere. Since I can actively stand in this area, I can actively help drain the water. That drain right there will all by itself will actually help. Let's clear this one out as well, and give it just a little bit of time, and this area will drain too. Probably including the back stores, the back area as well. Alright, there we go. Alright, well, all the water is going to slowly drain out of this area, which is good enough for me. Roadside lot too, just like I thought, literally. I don't think we have hydrants here. That's a fire hazard, is it not? For there not to be a fire extinguisher somewhere? Well, the fact is that this area is not even finished draining yet. Yeah, the water is still coming in from somewhere. I mean, you can clearly see the water is slowly being drained. And the only thing I can really do as far as the roadside goes, literally just keep trying to drain the water. And keep vacuuming the water because it's slowly flowing in from the outside area, outside of the map here. Alright, let's just see if we can vacuum up enough water for it to be considered clear. I just need to vacuum this area here for a little bit longer to really clear it out. To really clear this area out, I literally just need to drain as much of the water off this side zone as I can. Keep running back and forth with my vacuum until I can drain enough of the water for it to be considered clear. Alright, it is coming along nicely. See, there's still quite a lot of water standing over there and down there. It is draining over there as well, so something is working back there. It's just not very fast. I wonder if they have a mission where there's literally like a natural water pump you actually have to reach or something in order to like really drain that water. Alright, there we go. There's another drain, little bit of water drain. Alright, let's go check the water, their drains, and see how they're faring. I mean, the front parking lot and the back parking lot can drain naturally with the help of these little little drains. But as far as it draining all the water, that might take a little bit longer for me to successfully drain like all the water, especially with me constantly draining and flooding new water into the area from this area over here. Let's see, we're gonna put this over here, run this down over here to this pump, turn that on and see what happens. See if maybe it'll drain a little faster with all the water, but it's slowly being forced to flood that way. Well, yes, I'm going to push all the water towards the pump in hopes of it actually being forced to drain this way. The only thing I can do is literally just keep pushing the water towards that thing and building up a big wave of water that'll slowly push towards the pump, and a little bit of it will be pulled in as it passes back by, and then I just go back and do it again and again and again until eventually the water drains enough for it to be considered fully drained. The only thing I can do is just keep doing this and attempt to push some of the water over the barrier. Basically just help out the pump by pushing some of the water over the barrier naturally. Well, this area here doesn't actually have an actual water drain. So the only thing I can do is literally just keep doing this until it drains enough for it to be considered drained completely. It seems like it is working. It's just very slow because there's so much water over here that the game, I guess, just doesn't simply consider drained until it's all gone. Like all the water is then pushed out, which is what I'm actually really trying to do. I'm really trying to help the pumps get rid of all this water by using my switching to somehow force the water through this brick, like up and over like some slimy sludge or something, because it's able to flow up and over this brick wall. So yes, the only thing I can do now is literally just keep draining. Hope I can eventually drain it enough for it to be considered completely drained. Only thing I can do is just keep draining the water. I'm just going to push it over the wall until I can eventually get enough water out that it will actually be considered drained. so I can then move the pumps down. I'd probably move them into the store, honestly, because the parking lot's basically done being drained. It just needs a little bit more work, and it'll be drained enough to be considered completely drained. The roadside lot cart area too is probably where I'm going to probably finish off the mission, especially with that water that's constantly draining back into the area. Alright, let's just slowly push water over the wall and get some of it to naturally flow away. Come on, you can do it. Just a teeny bit more. Come on. Alright, I'm going to move this electrical generator pump over here. Alright, I'm gonna go back here and actually try to push some water along the fence line here so I can gather up some of the water that's still here. Alright, let's just keep pushing the water here towards the pump. I'm not really sure where all this multitude of water is actually coming from. It's like it's multiplying. Why is the water multiplying? I think the squidgy is broken. Not gonna lie, it's literally multiplying the water. Maybe I'm not using it right. Maybe that's why it's like becoming some kind of isekai from some isekai or something. Like literally is summoning water out of nowhere, like a water bender. Come on, you can do it just a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna run around and do some standard vacuuming around the edges in hopes of maybe pulling some water from the higher areas. Basically just to make sure this area stays drained. Oh. Well, that's definitely not good. Let me go and move my generator to the back room here. Because this area will clearly drain by itself if I just simply move my generator and tools back here. Maybe it'll rest fairly standard, like right here, and I just literally help the water drain to that side of the wall. Will it rest here? I'm kind of cheating physics, honestly, here. Here we go. Oh, the water will drain outside now. I'm going to forcibly drain the back room. The rest of the draining basically has to happen naturally. I need my wrench in order to successfully fix that one leak. Look at that. That's what my pumps are doing. They're forcibly draining the back room, even though technically it's not going to help until I get that thing fixed. Come here, Mr. Wrench. We have a leak to fix. Alright. The pipe is fixed and, you know, ready. Do that. No, basically I just need to wait for the water to slowly drain out of this back area as well. See, because the water is going to keep back looping because of how much water is, you know, in the service corridor. But the water is slowly draining because it's going outside. It's flowing outside basically as fast as it physically can. Outside with you. Let's go ahead and check the drains and see if they're all stuffed up. Let's go check the back as well. Yeah, the front lot clearly is a lot more, you know, water filly. Try to forcibly drain it or something. Vacuum this area again. area. It's literally being fed from the outside area of the map. I can't do anything about it. Like, I literally can't do anything about it. The only thing I can do is basically just keep babysitting these little water drains here and hope they can eventually handle the influx of water. Pulling in a lot of water from the area, all the massive influx of water. I'm going to help it, basically just help the water get outside. And slowly but surely I will drain the shopping area. Alright, let's just slowly clean this room out here. Slowly but surely we will clean the service corridor area out as well. This one's going to take a tad longer because the water basically keeps being pushed directly back into the area. Alright, let's go back here. I wonder if there are any natural outlets in here somewhere. Alright, I guess that's not going to work. We're going to set one up at one end of the store and one at the other end, and we're basically just going to pump all the water directly outside if at all possible. Now, we're going to go back here, and we're going to slowly vacuum out the corridor of all of its water contents. That parking lot. Right. We're basically just grabbing all the water we can and taking it directly outside. Now, we're gonna head back over here to the storm drain zone. I gotta move it somewhere kind of in the middle. That's literally the most perfect use of a pump I think I've ever seen. Like, it's not even splashing anywhere. It's literally going straight into the drain. Yeah, so the water will basically slowly but surely drain itself.
Oh. Oh. Bad move. Heartburn. Or, well, not heartburn, soda burn. If any of y'all have ever had that problem, a burp gets stuck while it's being formed once you drink soda. Soda goes down, burp is on the way, basically in the middle of forming, and the soda lands on top of the burp. And it causes a severe bit of pain and cramping. Not exactly sure how that's supposed to work, but that's basically what just happened. Maybe I need to eat something, honestly. Wait, where are those crackers I laid up here? Ah, there they are. There's one. There's the other. That's right.
You'll have to excuse me for the next several minutes. I'm gonna be right in the middle of burping a lot. Because that little bit of pain is gonna cause basically continuous problems for me for the next several minutes, probably. It may only be like really small burps, but still. Well, the only thing I can really and truly do is literally just drain the water the best of my ability.
sorry. Alright.
I'm gonna vacuum along the edges here because water is most likely tended to gather near like the edges of parking lots. So it's best for you literally just to go along the edges and vacuum up the bigger splotches of residue. The things that basically the pumps aren't going to drain. They're not going to really worry about draining that.
Alright, let's
The water from the back parking lot is flowing towards the front parking lot, which is why I'm trying to drain the front parking lot first. This back parking lot will stay clear if the front parking lot stays clear, right? You don't have to clean all the water out, but clearing most of the water out is fairly important. I don't know why it drains the way, like why you just pull it around your side and try to spray the water out, why you can't like literally just reverse the vacuum, honestly. Oh, whatever. I can't tell. Alright, let's just grab this and we're gonna move it over here so we can literally just drain the water directly from where it is, directly into the areas at which the pump will actually be able to drain it down into. This will definitely help push more of the water out, because the water is literally gathering here. You can see it gathering, but there's basically just not enough water there for the pumps to really do their best work. There's enough water gathered over here, but not enough down here, basically. That's the problem. I don't know really where all the water is gathered at, so I don't really know where to focus my efforts. Come on, I know I'm basically finished. Come on. Let me finish. Let's just keep running along this area. We'll eventually clear it out enough for it to be considered actually clear. Finally! I did it!
Breaking update. The convenience store is dry again. Our plunger-equipped hero has once more bullied the flood into submission. One resident told us,
I secured 3 packs of toilet paper, but it's all soggy!
tragic. Meanwhile, the mountain has entered the chat. A landslide above the farm is sending water straight into the farmhouse and barn. If you're volunteering, bring digging equipment, because apparently, we're farming mud now.
Bruh. Bruh. How am I supposed to drain water off of a mountain? Well, wait a minute. I don't know. They might, knowing us humans, we might have literally dug a giant drainage ditch up there with a big pipe and everything and just stuck it somewhere on the mountain where the water is naturally flowing down at. Just, why not? Sure. Let's see. I don't know, honestly. I can't exactly take much with me. I guess I could take this with me. I've got the pumps, so I don't need that. Power cables and all that whatnot. I got the 2 inflatable barriers. I'm pretty sure 2 should be enough, hopefully. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this stream here. Because we have finished the convenience store mission. It did take a while. Yes, I understand that it took a very long time. But we finished it. It took a long time, but we managed to finish it with the help of both of the pumps. I'm hoping that I'll be able to upgrade the pump from the pump 3 to Mark 4 as soon as I finish another mission. Hopefully. Anyways, if you like this stream of Drain Sim, please do leave a like, and I'll see you again in the next one. Thank y'all for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again. Peace.